So Miami's been a part of my training camp since 2009. At the gym where I started at, Top Notch MMA, the head coach there, Mac Ramos, is another guy who loves Miami, loves the culture down there, loved everything about it. And, I remember we were getting ready. It was for my third fight in the WEC. The fight was in November. It was around October, and it was right around when the weather was starting to break in Illinois, so it was starting to get a little chilly. And we're in the middle of training camp, and we're like, man, this it kind of sucks, like training in the cold weather like this. Anybody who lives in Chicago knows that those, in the dead of winter, you don't want to get up, you don't want to get out of bed, especially to go to a gym and get your body moving. So we're like, let's go down to Miami for a week, and we could train on the beach, we can hang out, do whatever. So we came down here, and he had a friend who was going to a gym down here called MMA Masters. And he was like, yeah, I got a gym for you guys. You come in, do some pad work, get some sparring in, whatever you want. And we're like, yeah, that's cool, we'll do it. So we show up there, and I walk into the gym, and of course, we're late, right? They've been practicing for maybe like an hour already, because they were, right when we walked in, they were gearing up to spar. And we spar at the end of practice. So they've been practicing, everybody's all warm. I stroll in, here's the guy in the WEC, and they're like, yeah, you're gonna spar with Baboon. I'm like, Baboon? So I'm like, okay. And I get wrapped up, put my gloves on, my shin pads on, didn't get a chance to warm up, nothing. They put me in the cage, and I turn around, and I just see this guy pacing back and forth, like, and like looking at me and pacing and turning like a caged animal. And I'm like, what? I'm looking behind me. I'm like, is this guy mad at someone behind me? Or I've never even met this guy before. So the opening bell comes on. He comes straight across the cage, and he's like, bop, 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 and boom, blast me with a head kick. And I'm like, screw this. Take his ass right down to the ground where I'm comfortable. Held him there for a while. But it was, back and forth sparring battle, and he's getting these shots off. I've never sparred with anybody like that before. Then after sparring, they throw me on the mat with my coach, Daniel Valverde, who is one of the best jiu-jitsu practitioners in the world. Not only is he a black belt in jiu-jitsu, he's a black belt in judo. So he's got the takedowns and the submissions that he pairs well with each other. And after rolling with him for about 5 minutes, it felt like my neck was going to fall off. It felt like I had a cold, because he was squeezing my esophagus so many times with his chokes that the next day I had like a sore throat for like a week. So at MMA Masters, besides Daniel Valverde is the head jiu-jitsu coach there. There's also Cesar Carnero, who is the head kind of MMA coach. So he runs all the MMA classes. He actually comes from a capoeira background in Brazil, which is a style that I absolutely love. I wish I practiced it more. I wish there was more places back home here in Illinois where I could practice it. But it's a beautiful style. It's a beautiful martial art, and it's deadly and dangerous too at the same time. So I've trained with lots of capoeira guys, and those guys have kind of the best reaction time of people that I've trained with, just because in their style, the way they do it, they're so close when they're doing they call it a jogo. It's a game. They play a game. They're so close to each other, and they're throwing all these like really fast spin kicks, and they have to like watch where their partner's going and get out of the way, and just their reaction and their speed is incredible. And their kicks and their techniques are very unorthodox, and they like come out of crazy angles that you don't see coming. So it's great, and I actually use a lot of the techniques in my own fighting, and Cesar will work them in also. But besides capoeira, he's also very good, technical boxing coach with his hands, and I really like the way he does mitt work. The way he does mitt work is, it's not like, you do 1-2 and that's it. He's throwing back at you, getting your head movement on point, so you always have to be on guard when you're doing mitt work with him. You can't just can't do the Mayweather where you're looking one way and hitting the pads. That's, it's not how he does it. So I really love his style. He's brought my stand-up game to a whole new level, and the two of them paired together just make a great team. So with them two, I don't really need anything else.